Fucking Republicans! These are the immortal words of Bradley Meelan Heck when he would watch the news and the Republicans would do something he didn't like. I always found it amusing because he was talking to a TV screen and you would expect a response from the TV. This was just one of the many aspects of his personality. He was also one of the funniest, caring, and most intelligent people I've ever known. He was born on September 30th, 1939 on the east side of St. Paul to Myrtle and Harold Heck. After he graduated high school, he went to the Army Reserves, which he hated because he didn't like being told what to do. He was also accepted to St. Olaf College and his major was chemistry. There he met Margaret Bjorn, the woman he would spend 43 years of his life with.
Margaret Heck, otherwise known as Mar, and I am Andy Heck's mother and Brad Heck's wife. The first time I met Brad, I was a junior at St. Olaf, and he had just graduated, so he was an older man. In those days, we thought that way. And we met at a dance at a little town outside of Northfield called Hampton. And there was a little restaurant called the Oli Store about 2 blocks down from campus. And they had the most wonderful food, and they had booths where you could sit and study and have a decent meal. And so Brad and I went there frequently. In 1967, I had just graduated from St. Olaf, and Brad was working for 3M at the time. He's a chemist. It was a Saturday, and it rained, and that was supposed to be good luck. We got married at St. John's Lutheran Church in Northfield. That's the church where my father was minister for like 18 years, so it was my home church. We had a very traditional wedding, 3 bridesmaids, 3 groomsmen, and my father officiated, which was really nice.
Mar had a large family. She has 6 brothers and sisters, so there were a lot of nephews and nieces, which he liked a lot.
My name is Carl Sathram. I'm Brad Heck's nephew. Brad was a genuine nice guy. I mean, I've always thought that since day one. He was kind of a closet hippie, and it was kind of funny because I thought that I was a little bit afraid of hippies back in the 60s. Just because of the way that the news portrayed them, and, you know, the drug scares and all that kind of stuff. We chose Brad because he had the type of personality that wouldn't freak out or have a heart attack or something. And so we sabotaged one of his cigarettes because, you know, back then pretty much everybody smoked in the 60s, or maybe it was early 70s. And next thing you know, we're watching out of the corner of our eye, and bam! And the cigarette would shred back, and with it still hanging out of his mouth, Brad just sat there with this kind of smile on his face. And then everyone started laughing, including Brad. And he had of course, some kind of really witty retort, but I don't remember what it was. Seriously, I think a lot of how you think of someone develops at that young age. And so you think of someone, you carry that over into your adult life. And Brad was always kind of a playful guy, and therefore I think I based my thoughts of Brad when I was an adult on how I thought of him since I was a young person.
My parents adopted my sister Kari and me from Korea. We had always felt loved by them, and they always let us have our freedom growing up as long as we didn't get into trouble. This building used to be Powell's Candy Company. After graduating college, he got various jobs in the science field. He went on to work at Powell's Candy Company, where he was head of research and development. This is the building where Borders bookstore used to be. This is how my dad and I bonded as father and son. We would go to the Borders bookstore and buy movies. Then in 2009, he was diagnosed with colon cancer, which would later spread to his lungs. For me, it was crushing because I didn't know if he was going to die.
No, don't tell me that. You know, it's probably a typical reaction. But, you know, I guess I'm an optimist at heart, and I knew he would fight to the end, which he did.
In the beginning, it was hard to believe that anything was so serious, because I don't think most people expect that they're going to get cancer. And there's always hope that the treatments that you're getting are successful. And things just sort of carry you along. Well, I was mostly numb, I think. It was hard to believe that it had really happened. And having a funeral and all the things you have to take care of and the paperwork kind of keeps you occupied and keeps you moving.
Ann and I were at his bedside the week before, so we knew he was close.
Brad was kind of high-strung, and so there were times where he'd have little mini fits. Never hurt anybody personally, but he would get angry if things didn't go the way he thought they should go. But I think I'll just concentrate on the good stuff, and there was plenty of that.
Rollin, a very funny guy, unique sense of humor. And he would crack us up at the most unlikely moments. He was great at Bjorn family functions because, you know, he was kind of a rebel, and I kind of felt like a little bit of a rebel at those functions.
3.5 years later, my life has gone on. Through all the tears I've shed and getting help in therapy, I've come to realize that my relationship with my dad didn't end when he died. It's just different now. I'm still trying to figure out that relationship, but what I am sure is that my love for him is still as strong as it was when he was alive.